automatically?
You are live right now in the Speak Life Empowerment webinar. You are live, Reginald McKeever. You are live, and we're going to be talking about the energy. You speak about that so well, and I think I am super blessed to have you here on this platform of Speak Life, so you can speak life to the energy of relationships, or speak life to the energy of people. And I appreciate the way that you do it, to make it plain and simple for us. You write the vision and make it plain, definitely, so all of us can understand, and make it applicable to our life. And I appreciate that. So I'm going to go into social media right now, Reginald. I'm about to go into social media, and I'm going to invite all the Purpose Professionals, all of the Speak Life 40-Day Challenge, and the Speak Life Prayer Bible Study, and my network to this. And I see we already have viewers here, and I want to thank you for coming in early. This is going to be an amazing live webinar with Reginald McKeever. And we are truly excited to have him here with us. And you guys missed it. And I'm going to tell, because Kim Coles had to set him up. Y'all, it was funny. It was so funny. Kim had to set him up. Nope, I'm telling. Kim had to set him up. She was like, let me set him up. Okay. So, so I thank God for that.
Okay.
And you're gonna hear about more things that they're doing, and so you can contact him and follow him. But right now, I am about to go into social media. Okay. The way I do that is I pick up, and normally I have my handy dandy notebook, but I found that it's easier when I have my phone with me, so I can tweet and repeat everything that our Speak Life speaker says, and hopefully he goes slow enough for me to follow. Okay, so you will?
No, I promise.
Okay, thank you. So again, I am excited to have him here. You guys just don't know, because I saw him in action, like face to face in action, in the DMV area, with Dr. Letitia, right? And it was amazing to see him interact with people, and to actually look at the nail beds and tell them about their energy and tell them about themselves. I mean, selves, because you guys, when I tell you that he has a gift from God, it's truly amazing. I won't go too deep, because I wanted to tell you guys about him, but he is truly gifted. He is a pastor that's outside of the four walls. He's a minister that's outside of the four walls, and he's just out here with us, so he can let us know that we're loved, and that we have purpose. And that's why you guys are purpose professionals, because you have purpose. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to him, so he can continue to talk to you and speak life into you that shall not return to you void. You guys, Reginald McKeever.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Letitia Nicole, and to the Speak Life community. My name is Reggie McKeever. I am what's called an energy reader, but I'm one of the people, or the only people in the world, that has the gift that I have. And I credit God for that gift. When a person comes and work with me, I have the unique gift of looking at the nail bed. And from the nail bed, I can see pretty much what went on in your life that got you to this point. And my job from there is to help you get where you're trying to get by balancing the energy in your life. One of the things I like about Letitia is that she says speak life to relationships. And I know that she's a person that is what she says she is. She doesn't sugarcoat, she tells it like it is. And I'm fortunate to be on her show today. When we're talking about energy in relationships, most of my clientele, I started out helping millionaires make more money. They kept me private, they kept me secret, they paid me not to work with anyone else. And the thing what I would do is I would show them ways to increase their energy, to increase their revenue. And we did all kind of exercises and all kind of activities. And when I moved here to Hollywood, I started working with celebrity clientele, and I started helping them get the parts that they want to have, change their vibration when they go into meetings, and help them get picked for these parts. And it's going very well. Since then, I've opened up and started working with general clientele, as my schedule permits. When a person comes to me, and especially if they're having trouble in their relationships, what I find is that people move from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship. And by the time they get to me, there are an accumulation of experiences. Some experiences are bad, some experiences are good. And these experiences form their ideas, and these ideas form their prejudices. And people, when they get in a relationship, they determine what they're gonna take and what they're not gonna take. And unfortunately, it's unfair into the new person that they've gotten with, because they've got all of these things from the past, all of this abuse and all of these things, and now they're trying to make them work into a relationship. And it's not going to work until you take an assessment of where you came from and redefine who you are based off of your experiences, and purge yourself of things that don't belong there. So ideologies and belief systems of people that you were around that were negative and that put you down and said all kind of things about you. You got out of the situation, but you didn't get out of the energy. And the energy goes and it travels with you into your new relationship. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let's first define energy. Energy is formed in you from your youth or from the time you were small up until where it is now. Every experience that you went through has made an imprint. How energy is handled is deposited into the organs of the body. Your mind is simply no good. Your mind is just something that shifts energy and shifts emotions that you don't deal with in the mind. It shifts it into the organ. Let's say, for instance, the heart is going to deal with the emotion of joy. When I look at a person's nails, 70% of the people that I see, the heart is injured. And when I say injured, not necessarily malfunctioning in the natural, but in the spiritual, in the energetic, the heart is off kilter, it's off balance. So when I look at the heart energy, it shows that most of the time it's out of balance. Either that person is doing something for everybody and no one's doing nothing for them in return, or people are taking their kindness for weakness. And 70-something% of what I work with is experiencing this same thing. They'll take the shirt off their back, they're a give, and they find themselves in relationships with people who are takers, who will take from them, who instead of complimenting them, they will begin to take. These relationships are not formed today. These relationships was forged in your childhood. These relationships was formed based off of your mother's and your father's relationship, not actually what they've done by telling you, but what they've done in their actions. You saw a father that walked away from a mother, or you saw a mother trying to hold it down all by herself and had no way of getting help from anybody. You saw divorce, you saw infidelity, you saw all of these things. And from that, you begin to form an unspoken language. The unspoken language happens when you go to bed and you try to make peace of everything that's going on around you. When you're listening on the other side of the wall and mom and dad is arguing, or you're in a situation where the uncle or someone is molesting you or doing something to you that he has no business doing. The unspoken teaching is the teaching that you resolve within yourself or attempt to resolve within yourself. It is the trying to make sense of it without the right help. So we go to bed with tears. We go to bed saying no one understands, or no one loves us, or no one cares about us. We wake up the next day, we go through the same cycle over and over again, growing through things, but not being instructed through things. So as we grow through these things, the next night is the same. The next night is the same. Your mind cannot handle it, because your mind is either I want you to deal with it or I want you to get rid of it. If you can't deal with it, then the mind begins to shift it to the organ, which was designed to hold the emotion. Now all of these things begin to form a broken heart, a let down heart. You thought a relationship was supposed to last forever, but it didn't last. You thought that infidelity wouldn't happen to you, but it did happen. It happened while you were a child. So you go to school, your heart is already broken. As time goes on, you watch other things begin to happen. As a result of divorce, things are not like they used to be. Bills have to be crunched. Things that happen like they used to happen. So you carry these things and you don't get resolution, you get older. And as you get older, you begin to go through experiences. And now all of a sudden the heart does not beat the same. one thing that amazes me is that when you go to the doctor, we love to treat for high blood pressure and hypertension and all these things, but we never ask the question, what is going on with the heart? How is the heart trying to communicate back to you that there's a problem, that there's something wrong? So you have to understand that the heart holds a mind of its own. The heart has a memory. It is never, you'll never look in Bible or anywhere else and see the mind before the heart. It's love God with all of thy heart. Mind comes after heart. The heart is what holds the essence of who you are, the emotions of who you are. The heart has a transmitter that when you walk and when you go, let's say you go into a mall and you're just walking, your heart is transmitting. This transmission goes 50 to 100 feet in front of you. This heart is transmitting hurt, it's transmitting broken relationship, it's transmitting all of these things. Now, because of your manifestation power works when you don't even realize that it works, the things that you said I don't want are the things that you are attracting because your energy has not been fixed. So when you go to the mall, it is critical that you understand that when you go into a place, that this energy can be deceptive. You ever got with somebody that looked like they were something and said that they were something, but about 6 months down the road, you begin to see that the person that you met is not the person that you see today. And it was like they did what they had to do in order to get in a relationship or get you or get your heart. And this is what happens. That energy that you carry around has launched out, and this person, a game of energy, was attracted into your life. When they are attracted to your life, they were drawn in on your negative. So it was never your man, it was never your woman in the first place. So now, because the energy is off, we get in a relationship that emulates the relationship that my mother and my father had. Now everything that looks good is not good. This person did the very thing that I feared the most. He cheated. He or she did something that she had no business doing, and they knew how I felt about this because I shared my heart to them. Now you get out of that relationship. You never cleanse. You never found wholeness. You get into another relationship. You get into another relationship, and now this relationship, they look different, but they act the same. Same deception, same look, same contour, same everything. Now here's another broken relationship. And many people, we've got books written like what's wrong with the men or what's wrong with the women. When you see me, it's not what's wrong with them. It is how your energy has malfunctioned in your life to allow these people to come in. Books sound good. They read good. But in the bottom line, you want change. You don't want a replication of where you already came from. So in a sense, this is how everything begins to form inside of you. And this is what I do. I help you rid yourself of all these things, all these energy disturbances, and help you get a life that you're worthy of. And you learn so much from you. You ever had a parent that they would discipline you and you say, I'll never do my child like that? Maybe they worked a third shift job and you were a latchkey, you had to take care of yourself, and you said, I'll never do my child like that. But because no one showed you what to do, you end up doing the same thing that that parent did to you. Energy is one of the most amazing things on earth. You are a spiritual being. You're not this fleshly body. Everything on you houses an emotion. And based off of those emotions, this is important. Based off of those emotions, it determines what comes in to your life. So if you're trying to increase, you have to change it on the energetic field. And if it is not changed on the energetic field, then it will not be changed or manifested in the natural, or everything you have in your life is temporary. The most difficult thing that I would ever say to you is that everything in your life could be artificial. Your relationship, your job, your surroundings, everything could be artificial if it is not attracted with pure energy. And this is why we have to do so much self-work. Friends that are not for you, friends that are smiling in your face and talking about you behind your back, people that are putting you down, people that are attracted to you years later, you found out that they were not a friend at all. And all of these things are held in place based off of what you got going on the inside. And people will not get you to deal with the things that cause your surroundings to be like they are, because most people don't know to address these things. Now let's look at it. Let's take the kidneys that houses fear. You know, most successful people that I work with that feel like they have parameters and they can't get no further, or they can only go so far and doors are slammed in their face. How many of you are providers? How many of you are people that work with people, but behind closed doors, you're struggling in your finances? I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. How many of you life coaches are struggling with trying to make ends meet, and yet you have to tell people how they can increase? I gotta deal with the realness that you will be surprised that only a handful are really successful like they want to be. Want to know what the secret is? The secret is this: most people that are in this situation have problems with fear. They actually chase what they are afraid of. They have a fear of success. They have a fear of actually being free. Subconsciously, they self-sabotage themselves. The problem is the energy of fear that lies within the body that follows you wherever you go. Show me a person that has fear, and I'll show you a person with financial difficulties. Or I'll show you a person that are not reaching the financial level that they could reach. Imagine this: if you change your energy, you could change your relationship, and you could change your finances, and everyone that does not belong in your field will begin to dismiss themselves without you doing a thing. Most people in your life right now are assigned to you. No matter how bad they aggravate you, either they are making you better, or they are pushing you toward your destiny, or they are pulling you toward your grave. And you've got to decide how many people that you have in your life that are not happy for you, and you feel it and you're wondering, why won't they go anywhere? Well, they are assigned to you, and your energy is keeping them in your life. And don't worry, by the time I get through talking, we're going to go through some energy clearing. And I love people that say, well, you know, this is, you know, what God and Christ, they didn't design it, or they didn't mean you. Let me tell you something about the nature of Christ. When you came across Christ in the Bible, right, or biblical days, he would address what you had going on. He would send you on your way and say, tell another man, tell someone what happened here on this day. So he got right to the heart of the matter. He dealt with it, and he pushed you on your way. We don't do that anymore. We drag people into self-help. We drag people into continuously searching for something but never finding it, only to find the grave being unfulfilled and not living the life that you want to live. Now, here's the thing about me. Yeah, I help people become millionaires. Yeah, I help people go from negative to successful relationships. But the key is everyone can have it if you learn how to cleanse the emotional process or cleanse the mind. Here's what's going on. Case in point, you sit in a room and you begin to cry, and no one's there, but all of the things that are going on inside of your mind, all of the stories that are replayed over and over again, all of the voices, why aren't you doing any better? Why do you continue to be in this? Why didn't you make more of yourself? Why didn't you do this? All of these things begin to replay themselves in your mind. And the old school would tell you that that ain't nothing but the devil trying to rob your thoughts and try to rob your emotions and trying to cause you to go to hell. But really what it is those things are coming from the very inner of you. These things are what has been formed, your prejudice. They're coming back to the mind because they want you to resolve the issues so you can let it go. We don't know how to let it go. We're used to giving it to God and then getting up and thinking about the same thing over and over again. 90% of the people carry around things that they said they gave to God, but they still have going on, walking around every day with them. Pastors pastoring churches that are bitter. And you're wondering why your congregations are full of hell. We're trying to lead people somewhere, but in the leadership, we find out that we're struggling with the people in our very own churches. This is the key. Your congregation, in a sense, is going to emulate the energy that's going on inside of you. That is why energy is so important, that you either can make a house for God or you can destroy a house for God. Your energy sets the tone of your household. It sets you getting hired on a job or you getting fired. Your energy going everywhere with you. You ever notice how that some people, when they show up in the room, either chaos happens or peace happens? Some people can walk in a room and they say it's something about your smile, it's something about your spirit. It is the energy that is settled that they carry with them. Then some people can walk in a room and everybody start fussing and chaos is around. Selfish start going down and all these things begin to happen. Everywhere you go, this goes with you. A person will tell you no, not based off your experience, but based off of your energy that you sit down to the table with. So if you are a rejected person, you have already lost the job before you even apply. You have already lost the finances before you even apply. You are carrying the things with you that you say, I hate this. It comes with you. So Reggie, tell me, what do I do? What do I do? What I do is I sit down and I catch the thoughts that are going through my head. This is the thought. In your mind, it says, you're never going to amount to anything. You were molested and you got these hate issues against the person that molested you. Now it begins to replay the situation and it begins to mess with your mind because you tried to black it out. And the tears start to flow because we got a mixed up communication with the body. You think it's to put you down, and the body's saying, I'm trying to help you. I want you to walk through this, because inside of all of your misery is your blessing. Inside of all of your misery is your assignment. Inside of all of your misery is your way out. So the very thing that curses you is the very thing that is supposed to take you to this place that you never thought you would get. How can you tell me that my curse is actually my blessing? How can you tell me? Let's reason it. You begin to look at the situation that happened and you say, God, why did this happen to me? One thing I realized is that it didn't destroy me. Second thing I realized is that through all that I've been through, it's made me a stronger person. It's made me able to relate to people that other people just walk by. So when all these things happen to me, as bad as it seems, it was what was already ordained for your life. So now I begin to take what happened to me and says, I can use what happened to me in order to help people. Now, once you do this, you have gave energy an assignment instead of destroying you. Here's what happens. Another case in point. Couple going through a crisis. The man has cheated on the wife. The man goes on, he leaves the woman for the next woman. And they begin to smile and prosper on Facebook, and everything else they didn't do with you, they're doing with them. And all of your friends seeing the Facebook post, and he's so happy and he's so this and that, but he cheated on you to get her.
Come on now, preach.
You get bitter behind what happened. Because everywhere you go, you say, look what he did to me. Look how he destroyed me. Look how he did this. He goes on and he's happier than he's ever been before. He's cheesing everywhere. He don't care. Now you develop a cancer, or you develop something inside of your body that stemmed from anger and hatred and bitterness. Is it fair to have your life destroyed not once, but twice? Once by the action, two by the repercussion. Now we sit down and the body's saying, let this go. And you're saying, I'm dwelling in it. It's a lather for me. It is a lather. I dwell in this anger. I dwell in this confusion. I don't want to be like this, but yet I spend 50 minutes or 60 minutes or 90 minutes dwelling in it. And then we begin to dwell and sink in this thing. Now it has got a right inside of us. And all it's trying to do is tell you, I need you to resolve this issue. You got with a man that was never yours in the first place. You got with a man that had his own system of issues. You got with a man based off of things that you went through in your past. You deserve better than this. And what's better will come to you. Now we have a plan, we work on our energy. Now it's released from the body. Here's the most important thing. Everything in your life is designed based off of where your energy is. Once you release something, you open up the door for something else to come. But only when you truly release it. I have people argue me down. I'm stuck. I'm in this. I can't make it. I can't see my way out of it. You just don't understand. Nah, I understand. I've been there. And I'm trying to tell you that there's a better way. Many of people cried on my shoulders. They cried, and I hand them Kleenex one right after another. And I give them Kleenex, and I look at them, and I smile. And I said, once you clean you, what's for you will come. They argue with me. They get frustrated with me. And then one day, they clean their energy. Next thing you know, they said, I didn't even see a way out, but this man makes 6 figures and he came out of nowhere and he proposed to me. What should I do? And I said, well, you can do 2 things. You can go back to being broke and crying and unhappy, or you can run with it and you can take a chance knowing that you're free. Now, everything you give up, you'll gain. There are people you got to let go of. There's family you got to let go of.
Come on.
And I'll make it better than that. When you fix your energy, they'll automatically walk away from you. Some people love unhappiness. Some people, wherever they go, no matter what you do, they are convinced that they're going to be unhappy. You've got people that you're trying to motivate that are convinced that they're not being unhappy, and you need to let them go. I know the money may be good, but it's taking too much from you. Here's what I want to talk about with relationships in this field of people also. Hear me when I say this. Stop marrying and getting in relationships with people that you're supposed to be helping. If a person comes into your life, you are a counselor. You are a person that you're helping people get their life together. What in the world are you getting with people in relationships that need your help instead of edifying who you already are? So when you get in an unbalanced relationship, because we never seen the model of what a relationship is supposed to be like. We get in a relationship and we think that we're supposed to help this person get through their problems. 2 things going on there. You're saying ain't enough people out there that fits the need, so I give up. Next thing you're saying is I can make them into what I want them to be. If you marry your assignment, you're going to tear your life up. You hear me? Now, I want you to digest that. I want you to digest it. And I want you to know what you deserve. You deserve in your relationship. I put couples through this thing, which I call emotional cleansing. Emotional cleansing from people that you dealt with in your past. How can you become one with a person? You intertwine spirit with a person. Again, let's not look at the flesh. Just because the act of intercourse is over with, it does not mean that the action is over with. The action, you tie 2 souls together. Now, when you tie with this person, you are interlocked, energetically, spiritually. They're in your energy field. You break up with this person, you go to the next person, but you're still tied to this person. And some of us go into relationships with as many as 14 other identities in their energy field. So their thoughts, their patterns, their energy, their desire, their drive, their intent, their intellectual abilities, all these things you walk into other relationships with. And you have to purge these things before you go into a relationship. Why are you fussing with somebody over something that does not involve you or them, but somebody else that you dealt with in your past? Old school would tell you whenever you get by somebody, you feel that little sinking pit in your stomach of somebody you used to talk to, they say, oh, that's a soul tie. That's something. That is a intertwining. And we have to release these things. And you never know what is going to come up until you get with someone who is able to help walk you through these things. I ask people, When you get married, did you get rid of everybody else? Yeah, I stopped texting them. Yeah, I stopped doing this. Did you get rid of them? Yes, I got rid of them. Now, when they're married, all of these issues are coming up again, and I say you didn't get rid of them. You can't just get rid of somebody by shutting off their text messages. You have to get rid of them from your energy field. Then, and only then, are you ready to become a blessing for someone else. This is a little bit of the things that I do in helping people. Again, going to that nail bed, it tells me everything that you are. I always describe it like the rings on the tree, that when you look at that tree, you see the rings, and the rings tell whether it has good years or bad years. It is my gifting. When I look at you, I see energy, I see your color, I see the makeup of your soul. I'm going to look at your nails. I'm going to tell you what's wrong. I'm going to tell you how to fix it. I'm going to tell you that the foods that you eat are messing with the energy patterns in your body. Fear, all of these things, which I say over and over again, they control your appetite, and you eat to feed these dominant energies. And it always keep that dominant energy at home. Imagine all of these things going on, that if you can free yourself, and now the things that you say out of your mouth begins to come to pass. People struggle so many times declaring and saying it and believing it, and it's never happening. And the reason that it's not happening, the reason that it's not going forth for you, is because of that makeup that you have on the inside that is throwing these things just out of reach. So when I look at the nails, I'll give you plans. I'll tell you what to do, how to get these things straight. And when you change these things, your life begins to change. That is the nails in a nutshell. Next thing I do is I really go in depth with helping you become better at doing what you do. And if you have a plan, or if you have something that a goal that you're trying to get to, it then becomes my job to help you get there. So when we look at who you are now, and I'm going to be honest, the most successful people that I work with, the most successful people, multimillionaires, not so much by their finances, but by their home situation. Most successful people have these characteristics. They don't gossip. You hear me? They don't procrastinate. They don't self-doubt. They don't hold arguments with you. And they don't bring up your past. And I want you to think about, do you have those characteristics? They control what they eat. They don't eat every and anything. They eat a sustainable diet based off of where they're going. So you don't catch them eating like bodybuilders if they're working on 500 companies. Check your characteristics. Their energy is clean. If I came into your space and it was filled with clutter, I'm going to tell you just how much money you're going to make. I'm going to tell you what income bracket you're in just by looking at your space. If your mind is cluttered, your room is going to be cluttered. Your workspace is going to be cluttered. That is the hardest thing for people to let go of. I'm going to teach you how your mind is structured, like your workplace. And when you move things around, it's going to help your mind so much more. Letitia, is there any questions, anything?
Okay, this is just amazing. It's just like everybody is following you, and I had you on Facebook Live as well. So it's just people are just amazed by the information that you're giving. And I mean, like you said, you're the only person that does this. I think people are in awe and wow. So I'm going to go to social media now. I'm going to go to social media because actually I was just tweeting that the most successful people don't procrastinate or gossip. And I was putting that out there. And so I'm about to go over to Purpose Professionals right now. Erica Perry Green most people are assigned to you. Either they are pushing you to your destiny and making you greater, or they are pulling you to your grave. Whew. I know, Erica, that was deep. Erica has inboxed me, then Facebook me on my personal page and professional diva page. Sienna White says she liked that. Chase what you're afraid of. Chase what you're afraid of. Arena Tenen and Ann Jim and Miss White all like that. I told them, oh my God, they're missing it. Everything can be artificial is not attracted with the pure energy. Everything that's artificial cannot be attracted with pure energy. And also they put, how has your energy malfunctioned? That was absolutely amazing. And I think we all want you to elaborate on how does the heart has a mind of its own. I mean, when you said that, you kind of like zoom past it, but all of us are like, wait, wait, stop. Can you elaborate on that? How does a heart has a mind of its own? I'll stop right there.
Let's go back. Let's go back and read the Bible. The Bible describes the heart in a being that it's not just an organ. It gives the heart characteristics, and where people mess up, they get the heart mixed up with the mind. The heart is an intricate system. The heart will change. The heart will change beat and pattern based off of the stress levels that are going on in your life. The heart in Egyptian society, the brain was no good. In mummification or whatever, the brain is held up and is thrown away because it's no good. What is good inside of you are the organs, because they hold the makeup of who you are. People say, well, in the day of judgment, you give an account for yourself or whatever. It's not your mouth that speaks. All these things about you are held right here in the heart. If you can learn how to master this organ, that means that your heart has a story. How do I know what my heart is saying? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are special meditations that I'll show you that you can do, where you can actually listen to what the heart is saying to the mind. And the heart begins to, the same thing, pour these things up. If you ask, what is wrong with you? What happened to you? Then your heart begins to testify. And it testifies through thought patterns that run through your mind. So in this heart, it controls so much around you. They got all kind of things that they're trying to name it, or they're trying to call it. They're calling it heart intelligence, or actually a study of going on of how strong and how powerful the heart is. In order to purge this heart, you have to first take time and listen to what's going on in the heart. Why are you hurting? And then you meditate, and then you hear what the heart is saying to the mind. I'm hurting because you're ignoring me. I'm hurting because you're putting everybody else before you're putting me, and these people are steady trashing or jumping on top of this thing called the heart. I'm hurting because you never addressed the issues that you had with the parent. You never addressed the issues that you had with your own children. You steady try to do for everybody else and make sure everybody else is okay, and yet you are ignoring me, and you're putting so much on me, that pressure. It is one of the things that I've done is that I took a group of people and showed them that you can make your blood pressure whatever you wanted it to be. And you can make your blood pressure so, because understanding that it's just pressure. When it's too much pressure on the heart, it changes the beat, it changes the rhythm of the heart. When you listen to what the heart is saying and relax, then the heart begins to come back down to normal. The heart goes out. It has heart attacks because you're putting too much on it. And on top of that, you're eating an unhealthy diet for the heart, because an unhealthy energy desires unhealthy things. So when you put these things in the heart, you begin to compress it and you begin to make it malfunction. So understanding that if you listen to everything that's in the heart, it only deals with the energy of joy. Only. Everything that challenges your joy, you need to write down and examine it. Everything that you got right now that's affecting your joy. A lot of times we say we got joy on the outside. If we could go inside of relationships and And it's hard to put a smile on your face sometimes. Anybody ever been there? It's hard to smile and it's hard to look like everything is okay. You're doing such a good job. You fooling yourself. You thinking your own self everything is all right. But when you're in your situation, your heart is bearing this, and your heart deals with your subconscious mind, and everything that you're trying to tell is okay. It's not okay with this organ. So you lay down stressed, you wake up stressed, all this stuff on your heart. And one day your heart gives out. Over your tombstone they care about everybody else but themselves. Cooked good old Thanksgiving meals for people that were ungrateful, did everything they could for people that stomped their heart instead of getting the respect that they deserve in the life that they deserve. Listen to your story of your heart. And if you're having trouble with understanding, www.coachreggieMcKeever.com. Get in touch with me, inbox me on Facebook. I'm going to help you all day long because this is not just my job. This is my passion. I'll go around doing it for free. I got people like Kim on my shoulders, making me put the dividends behind it, but it's what I love to do. Any more questions?
Well, just listening to you, and when you say, let's go back to the Bible, out the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I keep hearing as you're speaking. Our heart would tell everything, and our mouth would speak what's ever in the heart. So whether if it's unforgiveness, or whether it is molestation or rejection or whatever it is, we tend to if you listen to a person long enough, you'll know what it is that is ailing the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I got out of what you were speaking. And I think what you're saying is so prevalent, and people need to examine their heart, need to do an assessment of their heart. And I challenge you guys, contact him. Contact him, talk to him, and examine your heart, do an assessment of your heart. So you can plan something that you can make more money because of your heart is stopping you because of fear or because of rejection. So Reggie, I appreciate you for what you're speaking into the atmosphere, which shall not return to any of us void. And it's making us all evaluate where we are in our heart. So I'm going to go to social media.
Mm-hmm. It is amazing.
Michelle Kirkpatrick said he is sharing some good information. She said, I love it. Mm-hmm. Write down what affects your joy. The heart will change beat and pattern based on what you're going through. Mm-hmm. The heart will testify. Mm-hmm. I love everything that they're posting. The heart has a mind of its own. Mm-hmm. Takers, when you were talking about takers, oh my God, and you elaborated on takers for a long while, and that's almost like we are giving permission to people to mistreat us.
Mm-hmm. It is abuse.
Go ahead.
It is abuse, and you got to ask yourself why they're there. Takers will always show up for a person that wants to be needed. And you got to know that you are enough. You've got to know that just because you do for takers, that it doesn't make things better. You can do things for people, and whatever you do, it's never going to be good enough until you're good enough. And these are negative signs that energy is going wrong or away. And you gotta establish, what do you deserve? I know we got vision boards, but where's your deserve board? What do you deserve? What do you deserve for the tears you had to cry? What do you deserve? Where's your double for your struggle? Where is that defined? And we need to get that going. Also, I need to tell you that, and I'll be in Atlanta on Saturday of this week with Kimberly Arrington, and we're going to be doing demonstrations that are live on stage. I'm going to be calling people up. We're going to be looking at nails. Kim's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Both Kims are going to be there. And we're going to make this an experience. This is not a lecture. This is not a seminar. If you go to our Facebook pages, you'll see the post. And we're going to make this experience something that you've never seen before. We're going to have lecture, church, experience, outpour, all in the same place. All right.
That's amazing. Now, Sadie Hunter has questions. Sadie, please either inbox me or put the questions on Purpose Professionals. And I'm waiting on your questions, dear. Pamela Purify is loving everything that you're saying. Purifoy, excuse me. And I'm excited about you being at Miss Arrington's in Atlanta, Georgia. I think that's amazing. So I wish I could come. I'll be at a award ceremony in Raleigh, North Carolina. But it is 9:15. I know the time is bearing down, but if any of you guys go over to Purpose Professionals, it's a lot of you listening. Go over to Purpose Professionals and ask your question. I have submitted. Tamika said, "This is wonderful." She said, "Wow, this is wonderful. Wow, wonderful." Put your questions there. I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to miss out. Like he said, he's the only one that is doing this. You may have something on your heart tonight that you can put out there. I mean, whether it's rejection or hurt, whatever's in your heart, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. And a lot of times we bury it. But here's someone on here today that can help you with that. Mm-hmm. So I don't want you to miss out on your opportunity to be read tonight, or to hear where he's going to be next, or when he's going to be back in South Carolina or North Carolina. Right now he's in California. I don't want you to miss out on your opportunity. So I'm going to go over to Purpose Professionals now. Let me see. Okay. So I have absolutely. I see where they're writing. You say you are right. The wrong motive in a relationship leads to unnecessary pain. That's the spirit of jealousy. Powerful. Truly amazing. This is awesome. God bless you. Amazing nuggets. I have value. Okay. I mean, it's a lot of people, and I actually went to the Q&A and the instant broadcast, and it's a lot of people just sharing their thoughts on what you're posting, Reginald. Okay, here we go. She said, this is from Sadie Hunter. Sadie Hunter, okay. How do we cleanse the energy of fear? This topic is so okay, they're just coming now.
Give me that fear question.
Yeah. She said, how do we cleanse the energy of fear? And what is happening in my life right now? She said, I know a change needs to occur. Please answer her. Please.
Okay. This is what what I do. Some of my clients, including myself, had issues with fear. What we would do is we would go to the highest point we could go. And my highest point was the Empire State Building. And I was there terrified. I had to address fear. Here's two things. Fear is stored in the kidney area of the body. So if a person has tremendous issues with fear, look for lower back pain, look for UTIs, look for things that are going on, sweet craving, sweet tea, anything carb, anything that turns into sugar in the body. Look for those things first. The thing about fear is that, here's our old Sunday school. Job said, what I feared the most that came upon me. No one ever seen that when he feared something, based off law of attraction, he actually drew what he feared into his life. Now, if we let it be handled by God, then the things that we fear, we're going to be drawn toward them. If we address fear, we look at where fear first started in the body. Most of the times, and I'm going to talk quick, I'm already late for class. Well, we'll keep talking. One thing about fear is that fear is often, it's a learned behavior. It is spirit. It is not nothing that you rightfully claim. The first reaction that we have with fear is I always use the pot and the stove. That when you're a little child, you take your hand up and you put it on the stove. It acts of fear from the parent. They run across the room and they smack the hand. Now, two things are happening. Their fear becomes your fear, and they're reinforcing fear in you with punishment. So here, one child, and it's the difference in the way we raise our children. One child goes toward the road. One parent, she screams, she throws up everything. She goes and get him and she beats him and never explains what's wrong. Now you have another parent that sees the same reaction. They go get the child and said, listen, here's the highway. You have to respect the highway because the highway belongs to the cars. What are the cars? The cars are these automobiles that come down, and if a person runs out in the road, it could be real bad. Now fear is not installed, but teaching is installed. Fear is always lack of understanding. So when the child does not understand, but they receives the discipline, fear begins to grow. Now fear has a mind all of its own. One thing that counterbalances fear is more love. So if you show me a person with tremendous fears, I'll show you a person who in their subconscious mind is afraid to love. So now the same thing begins to happen. Now that fear is there, I done got my butt tarnished and tore up out the frame because I touched the hot stove. Now that fear begins to grow. It's there. It's embedded. It begins to grow, and now it begins to have a mind of its own. Well, now you got to be afraid of dogs, and you got to be afraid of cats, and you got to be afraid of this. Now you got to be afraid of rejection. You got to be afraid of relationships, and this fear begins to grow. Understand this real quick. How many of you have things that you are afraid of? When you see it, you go to dance. And if it's a snake, you can't even look at it in a magazine. If it's a spider, you have a fear. This is your body's communication. In other words, it fixated on that snake. And all of this energy that you have when you see that snake, you better get it out my face. You better do this and you better do that. Think about this. All of that energy is in your body the entire time, whether you see a snake or not. Imagine walking around with that fear vibrating from you everywhere you went, and you don't even know it's there. Now what we have to do to get fear out of the body is we have to walk ourselves back to where it first started. We go to where you first can remember fear, and then you step outside of your body and you begin to talk to that person and then begin to reestablish what they should have done. This was the situation that made me fearful. Now I resolve it. Now it begins to leave my mind. Once you do that and begin to walk yourself back up to where you are today, all of your fear will be gone from the body, and you actually won't be afraid of the things that you were afraid of. You have to address it where it starts, not from the day. How did it get there? Then you increase your capacity to love. Okay? What is your next question?
Okay, I know that you are late for class, and actually Tamika said you answered her question with the fear question, because we did have more questions, but I think fear actually helps with a lot of things, whether it's rejection, whether it's marriage, whether it's being single. So I think you've answered a lot of questions with that one question. Okay, you guys, one last question. Whoever asks first in Purpose Professionals, one last question. We don't want to make him too late for his class. That's why we came on early, because we are in a time zone difference. But one last question. I'm going over Purpose Professional. If we don't have a question, I'm going to let him go. But I would want him to talk about the Speak Life speaker and speakers, and also give you his contact information. So while I'm going over to social media, can you take over for me?
Okay, and thank you, Letitia, for this opportunity. And I encourage you to contact Letitia Nicole about her speaker contact. I love it because she tries to open up doors for others. And a lot of people ask, you'll work with Letitia Nicole, you'll work with Kimberly, but you won't answer my phone calls, or you won't. And my thing is this, First of all, I move by the Spirit of God, you know. Second, I find people that has that drive or that potential to reach the world, and I try to help them the best as I can get there. They're already there, but I don't believe in wasting their time. I believe in showing them things that's really going to help them soar. I encourage you to get in contact with her. I encourage you, join her academy, join her things, and follow her and find out what she's doing. You know, if I got a motto, if Reg says good, it's good. So get yourself a Reggie in your life, get yourself a Letitia in your life, get yourself these people in your life that have vision for you, and not people that want to take from you, but people that want to help you flower. If you got to drop somebody $700 every 2 weeks and $39 every 4 weeks and $14,000 after that, and you ain't never getting nowhere, everything you sow into a person, you should be getting back triple in return. And it shouldn't break you and it shouldn't drain you. So this is why I support, this is why I follow them. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Okay?
Absolutely. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to have him put his information in Speak Life, Speakers and Purpose Professionals, because I believe everybody here has purpose, but we all need a little push. We all need somebody speaking life to us. We all, like he told you, he worked with millionaires. He worked with celebrities there in California, Hollywood, to help them, you know, make more money and to assess their energy so they can move out of their own way. That's the way I hear it. Like, examine your heart so you can move out of your way. Your issue is you, boo. So you can move out of your way so you can be all that God that commanded you to be. So he did not give you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And when you start believing that, you know, you can truly move in greatness. So I'm excited. I know I got to let you go, but I know greater heat is in me. This heat is greater in the world. Yeah, and I'm really excited about this amazing webinar, only because you speak the word of God. I know that you're a man of God. I know that you're a mighty man of God that knows God for yourself and that preaches the word and speak the word, and you're not in four walls. You know, you're out into the world, speaking life into them, and you're also speaking of his goodness and his greatness and what he can do for them. I'm just saying, you're just spreading the good news. How about that? You're spreading the good news. So you guys, please contact him. He's going to put his information on Purpose Professionals. And again, like he said, if you are a Speak Life speaker, if you would like to join us, if you would like to get your message out into the world, contact me, inbox me, let me know. In June, we will have Speak Life to Your Business. We are now looking for 16 speakers to speak life into your business. If that's your expertise and you have products that you would like to sell and things that you would like to get out, contact me. And again, Reggie, you are absolutely amazing. And we thank you for gracing us with your presence here on Speak Life Empowerment Series. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.